SOFI update here on the 18th. So nice move to 853, but then we finished off flat. We got 50 basis point cut from Powell. And what can you notice about this chart that's the most obvious thing when you're looking at this? This parallel line right here. We were not able to break that. We came close to it, basically filled the gap right into resistance, and then sold off into the end of the day. Does that mean that that was a top? Not necessarily, but that is still bearish in my book. We need to break above this parallel line and honestly get above this parallel line as well. That parallel line will signal that we are making a third wave. But until we are stuck below these parallel lines, it's still bearish overall. So another thing to point out, just so you're aware, let's just take a look at the SPY option flow from today. These are all of the above the ask over $1 million. And you can see here that there were 3 calls, and those are before Powell spoke at 561. After he spoke, you've got millions upon millions of puts coming in above the ask, which means they're buying. And those are for, some of them are short term, but they have some longer term ones as well. So we're going to see how that goes. Let's look at IWM now. Let's do 500,000. So not too much, but you do have more puts here. Let's do all of them. A lot of selling of calls here. Below the bid on calls means they're selling. Another put with not telling us how they bought it. So kind of a mixture on IWM. But overall, not really a bullish flow for stocks. On SOFI, I don't see any options really at all. So you can go down to like 50,000, you can see all the retail ones. But these are all below 100,000, they don't really mean anything. If you go back to like historically over the last year, you can see here that we had some big buys, big sells above in the millions. Nothing so far in the last like month. We had this one $7 put on the 6th of September. So every time it's gone on a run, we've had some pretty big call buys. Right here is a call sell. And then before that, the only ones I see over 500,000 were back in like March. So anyway, putting this all together, I don't see very much option flow that suggests that we're going to be very bullish. And I see overall market flow that's more bearish. So getting into the chart now, we are still below this parallel line, and we have not broken this parallel line. So I still am stuck on this pattern right here of lower highs and lower lows. So if we go to IWM, we have a lower high here, hit 224, sold off. In the last video, I said it could hit 231, 232. It's either a second wave or a B wave, and then we're going to see something like this, or a C wave down. So that's bearish as well. And then the dollar. The dollar has basically hit the target, which is like 99 to 100. And the overall pattern is this. So rate cuts are supposed to be bearish for the dollar, but the chart is showing that we're going to be bullish on the dollar for probably the next couple of months. So my minimum target on the dollar over the next couple of months is 104.36, with a max target of like, max target is like 112. But I don't think it gets there. I think it gets up here to maybe 106, and then we head down here to 93. This area right here is where we're going to be super bullish, right here. But right here, it shouldn't be very bullish. So with that taking all that into account, I think this pattern still makes the most sense. But if I'm wrong and it does continue to go up, which it might go up over the next couple of weeks, or it might just chop around, this needs to break this parallel line and it needs to go up here to like 10 bucks. 10.15, pullback. If it's a 5-wave move, it could hit 12.70. If it's an ABC move, the max is 10.15, anywhere from 9.30 to 10.15. But really, I'm just watching to see if it can break above this parallel line and this parallel line as well. You're going to have resistance in here after it gets into the supply zone. Taking that all into account, the most obvious, most logical place for this to go is to start selling off down here. And I know I'm not talking about SOFI as a company or what the earnings are going to be. This is just strictly overall market, because we don't go against the overall market. We follow the overall market. We follow IWM. If yields in the dollar go up, we're still a growth stock. We're going to sell off. So I'm following the overall market. And who knows, maybe this bottoms before we get earnings in the end of October. But I would imagine that it takes a little bit longer than that. If you look at how long this move right here from the bottom took, it took about 3 months. If the bottom was right here, we're at June 20th. We're about 3 months into this as well. So 3 months into it, how long did it take to go down? This one took roughly 2 months. So 2 months from there would be about a little bit after the election. Or hopefully we don't get this again. This one took about 6 months. So that means we had bottomed sometime in November or January, February. Something like that. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Let's see what we get over the next couple of days. I honestly think that they're going to probably bring the market up over the next week or so, because I think a lot of people are getting bearish and a lot of people are starting to sell. So they got to get people chasing one more time and then rug pull. So I think we're probably going to either chop up here before moving down, or we will move up higher to like 9.30 or so. I honestly don't see the 5-wave move higher, but I could be wrong. So that's all I got for today. Just wanted to show you why I am bearish overall. But again, that's only bearish short term. Overall, the pattern, regardless of how long it takes, is still this. Or even better, this. One other thing to point out too is on the dollar move, timing wise, I would say this could last all the way in through 2025. So maybe the fall of 2025 is the market top. We're kind of in the same cycle, I think, as 2021. 2025 will fit the same cycle as 2021, and then 2026 will be like 2022, but probably even worse. So that's all I got for today. Overall, I think that this pattern makes the most sense, but we'll see. Maybe it can break out. And let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like the content. And I will keep you updated. Let's see if we can move into the end of the week. I'm guessing they're probably going to kill options, though.